大家好，我是 Shangguan Jie Wen, your friendly neighborhood Waiguo. Today I want to talk to you about the $1 trillion infrastructure package that Biden recently signed and how it's not going to help that much. There are some things in there. Obviously, if you throw $1 trillion at something, things are going to get better for some people for some period of time. But one of the big things that the United States is really bad at right now, and one of the reasons it's really behind China, for example, is that its infrastructure is simply so old. Logistics means moving things around. So like that means ships, it means trains, it means cars, it means trucks. Now, the United States built most of its infrastructure 100 years ago. So like Amtrak, this is the example I've used, and this is the third time I've talked about it, but it's really important in the context of this $1 trillion bill that the United States has just signed. Amtrak is an old train system that goes and you travel 41.5 miles per hour on average. That's the speed that someone travels on Amtrak. And so you're moving from one town to another or city to another, or you're going to work, you're going to see your relatives, whatever it is, you're taking Amtrak. You're traveling slower than a car. So that's why most people don't use Amtrak. Most people take a car. And then you're gridlocked on highways that are also in desperate need of being rebuilt, on bridges that might collapse, because that's essentially what this money is going to. This $1 trillion is going to build the old infrastructure back to where it was when they first built it. That doesn't help when it's 2021. And China, for example, has thousands of miles of trains that travel at 320 kilometers an hour. And you're talking about rebuilding Amtrak to be as good as it was when they first built it so that it can continue to travel at 41.5 miles per hour. So people in China are traveling at 3 or 4 or 5 times the speed that they are traveling on these old trains. I can take a quarter, a US quarter, or whatever coin I have, and stand it up in the window on a Chinese train traveling 320 kilometers an hour at almost 200 miles per hour, and the coin will stay up for the entire trip from when we leave the station to when we arrive at the station of our choosing. That coin is not going to fall down. That means even during takeoff, the coin will not fall down. This is how far behind the United States already was. And then they throw $1 trillion at it and say, oh, this will fix the problem. No, it's not. The United States is still going to be just like a brand new Amtrak, or like pretty good now because they put a bunch of Band-Aids on it. It's not going to help. The United States logistics will not improve to the degree which it is necessary if the United States were pretending that it wanted to be competitive. The United States in logistics infrastructure for moving people, moving goods, is not good. So I think it's really funny that they're trying to peel back from what was $3.5 trillion they initially wanted to spend to $1 trillion, because even with the $3.5 trillion bill, it wasn't enough. The United States would need $10 or $20 trillion to build the kind of infrastructure that China has. Now, people might be confused as to why that is. And one big reason that is because the United States was one of the first to build trains. And congratulations to the United States building a train from the East Coast to the West Coast. And I read that in my history books when I was in junior high, and I was like, oh wow, they put that last spike in. That was some giant achievement in history. China built its infrastructure later. It came late to the game, and so it built all of these trains after high-speed rail technology had already been explored and built in places like Europe and Japan. And now China's the leader at building high-speed infrastructure in the world. And it is, I'm in Wuhan, which is basically the center of all of these trains. If you look at a map, all the trains come out from here. If I want to go anywhere, I can get there almost as fast as a plane without having to queue up. So I don't have to spend an hour at the airport going through one layer of security after another. When you get to the train station, you go through like a metal detector, good to go. You line up, you get on the train, you zoom away to wherever you're going. Well, it doesn't even make a zoom sound. It goes to wherever it's going, and then I'm there. Plus, I can walk around if I wanted to. I don't really walk around, but you have these huge seats, very nice big seats in the first class, which is still way cheaper than an airplane's first class. I can charge my thing. I've got internet on the train, Wi-Fi the whole time, so if it takes 3 hours for me to get from Wuhan to Beijing or whatever, then I can just play with my phone and read the news, and other people might video game. I'm not into that. but watch YouTube videos or whatever it is. And that is one of the really convenient things about living in China. Most people don't take a plane. Why? A plane can be delayed. You're in the winter trying to fly from Beijing to Shanghai. There's a big storm. Maybe you're delayed. Maybe a few hours, maybe tomorrow. If I'm on a train, there's no delay. It leaves the second it's supposed to leave and arrives the second it's supposed to arrive, so that you don't have to worry about delays. There's way less time because there's less security. You go super fast. You have Wi-Fi. Now, Amtrak, I'm sorry, cannot compete with this. And so I just want to reiterate to my American fans who might be watching that the United States government is not doing enough to be quote-unquote competitive, and that China clearly has the logistics infrastructure advantage and will maintain that in spite of this being called, like, I don't know, the infrastructure bill in the United States. It doesn't do anything. It's putting a band-aid on an old broken system. And so now, yay, you have a pretty good system that was built 40 or 50 years ago. Still not going to cut it. So China's going to win in this round, and the Chinese economy is going to keep zooming ahead because of logistics makes business. So China has like factories all over it, and I want to make a shirt. I'm a company and I want to make a shirt. I don't want to say the name of companies, lawsuit issues, but you want to make a shirt. You have buttons that you want made somewhere. You have the fabric made somewhere else. Okay, so there are two different places. Moving them across the buttons to wherever you want them to go, really easy. Now, let's talk about another country. Let's talk about Vietnam or Bangladesh. You want to make a shirt, but the buttons that you want for that shirt are in Vietnam. That's a big problem. And that's a problem China doesn't have, because China has everything that you want. So you want to make a shirt in China. There's another town not too far away. Great logistics infrastructure. Move the buttons over there. You have the buttons, make the shirt, export. Boom, done. Goes to the port, it's out, it's on its way. Now it's just stuck off the coast of LA because, again, America doesn't have the infrastructure necessary to even import the things that it wants to consume from elsewhere, which is a big problem. Anyways, I think you get the picture. I'm not going to go into too much more detail, although I could, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.